Okay, so we're going to draw in 2-point perspective today. Job number 1, whenever you're drawing in perspective, is to draw a horizon line. The horizon line can be high or low, but it has to go across or horizontally on the paper, and I've done that. The second step is to draw the vanishing points. For 2-point perspective, you will have, well, 2 vanishing points. They don't have to go at the opposite ends of the page, but for today's purposes, let's do that. They just always have to go on the horizon line. Our first job is going to be to draw a cube. So we're going to draw the front corner. And so that's a line that intersects the horizon line. It doesn't have to, it can go above or below, but again, for today's purposes, let's do that. And then you're going to want to draw the guidelines from this front corner to the vanishing point. I always recommend that you do one side first. And so guideline to the vanishing point. Second guideline to the vanishing point. And realistically, it kind of looks like a big arrow. But what you really want to think about is this is the front corner of a box or a cube. The next step is to draw from the top and the bottom of the front of that shape or that front vertical to the opposite vanishing point. You can't go off to Never Never Land. You got to go to the vanishing points. Okay, so now we have this nice, diamond shape. It's almost like a kite and it's popping out at us. But what's really going to finish it off is if we complete the sides. The completed sides are always going to be parallel to the original. So if you want a small, or a narrow, tall, skinny cube, you might do something like that. A larger, you might go something like this. But this line has to be parallel to this line. And while that might not seem terribly confusing today, if you get into more complex forms that have curves and angles, it certainly will. So now we have the front corner of our cube. These are the 2 sides of the cube, and we can erase the excess guidelines. Let's add a secondary cube, just so you can see what that would look like. And let's make this secondary cube kind of behind the first one, okay? Just so you can get a glimpse at this layering process. We already have the horizon line. We already have the vanishing points, so we can skip to step 3. So that's the front corner. Here I go. I'm going to draw guidelines to the vanishing point. I'm not going to go all the way just to save my pencil. I could draw this line all the way to the vanishing point, but look, I already have it. I'm going to draw guidelines to the opposite vanishing point. Okay. The next step is to finish off that shape or form, and the completed side is always parallel to the original. The original went straight up and down, so the secondary one goes straight up and down as well. And last step, erase the excess guidelines. Now let's do a vertical cylinder. For a vertical cylinder, maybe we'll put it over here. I already have one line. I'm going to do a secondary line. When you think about something being above or below the horizon line, it's also above or below your eye level. So in this case, I'm going to curve up. And for this one, I'm going to curve under. That's really all there is to that cylinder. Let's do a cylinder going this way, okay? For a cylinder going this way, I might start with the front corner of that. And in this case, I'm probably looking at an ellipse, something like this. All right, so we have this nice oval. And I'm going to go from the front corner of that shape to the vanishing point. The rules are always the same. That's the beauty of these simple rules. So we have this sort of spot-like looking form, but it's not finished yet. The completed side is always parallel to the original. So I could do something way out here and it would be a tube like in a water slide or something. Or I could do a completed side up here and it would almost be like an arch. I could make this like an archway. Erasing the excess guidelines, I often refer to as step number 7. So there, now we have a horizontal cylinder, we have a vertical cylinder, we have a front cube, we have a back cube. This guideline, or excuse me, this horizon line is only going to remain visible if this is a translucent cube. You can turn these into all sorts of neat architectural elements. You can add a cube underneath of it. You can cut off the bottom of it and things like that. It's just lots of neat opportunities for you to play with it and create different architecture. So I hope that'll at least get you started. Neatness is important. Pencil and eraser are important. And just keep following those steps.